my wife will be coming. She works for CMAC, so she was out of town. She'll be back in just a little bit.
Yeah, well, thank you for letting us be here.
Sure, my pleasure.
Hi, Elizabeth. Nice to meet you too.
Elizabeth, do you need tea, coffee, water? Terima kasih kepada Pak Jaja yang sudah menyempatkan waktunya, menyediakan ruang tamunya. Excited that this evening we're going to meet with the candidate of State Representative for District 184, Elizabeth Fiedler. She is the reporter.
I remember.
Yeah, see, you are famous. Everybody know you was like, oh, that person. Jadi Ibu Elizabeth tuh udah lama kenal sama masyarakat Indonesia di sini. Dan dulu waktu kita mulai soal minyak jelantah, Ibu Elizabeth wartawan yang pertama kali meliput kegiatan kita.
We open, there's an open house policy, so there's things in the refrigerator, there's other stuff that Bahani and Pak Sharif brought, whatever, just help yourself.
So my name is Elizabeth. We should have more funding for our education system, so every child can go to a good school. And we should have a better healthcare system, so everyone can get high quality healthcare, and it's not too expensive and it's not as complicated as it is right now. Accessible to everyone.
Nah, jadi beliau juga sangat mendukung hukum-hukum imigrasi yang baik, bukan cuma secara nasional tapi juga di state Pennsylvania, supaya make sure di bidang kesehatan, di bidang sekolah, di bidang lain-lain ada orang-orang yang berbicara bahasa-bahasa yang berbeda, bukan cuma hanya satu bahasa. Dan nanti pada saat kantor beliau buka, beliau akan berusaha sangat keras untuk mendapatkan semua akses ke bahasa-bahasa tersebut.
Thank you so much for having us in your house. Thank you to all of you for coming out here tonight. Thank you to Hani for organizing this. And with that, I would like to stop talking and I would like to hear from you. I would like to listen. So however, I don't know, Hani, if you have an idea of how you wanted to do it.
Okay, my name is Benny. I'm pastor of Nations Worship Center. As you know, we have a innovation right in the 1998, and when I moved here, I was so shocked that almost 12,000 Indonesian people moved from Indonesia to South Philly in the year of 2000, 2002, 2006. And of course, immigration is a big issue, and thanks God, not all of them, some of them able to get a status, and some of them also already received an American passport, but not all of them. As a pastor, the main struggle that we have here in South Philly is healthcare. Used to be very, very easy when we have a problem with our congregation. We went to the public healthcare and apply for something, and right away we get help. But in the last 5 years, it's been very, very difficult. The answer that we always get is, number one, yes, people will get the coverage if they're very, very sick and like almost die. For instance, like cancer, for instance, like heart attack, for instance, like, so many, some of very dangerous sickness, then the government, the state will cover. Number two, if they really have pain, like pain that very, very pain, and then they will cover it. And number three is if they cannot walk, then they have to do the surgery, then they will cover it. They will give the coverage. But for instance, like cataract, like I went there maybe 20 times only.
Pak Benny katakan pada dasarnya adalah dulu waktu sebelum tahun 2009 banyak orang-orang yang sakit di cover gitu loh Pak. Dulu, sekarang cuma yang di cover itu orang yang benar-benar hampir mau meninggal atau yang benar-benar akan cacat. Yang katarak itu nggak di cover Pak sampai.
It's interesting to me that you say it has changed. There was a time when it was better. Do you know what has changed? Is it a lack of funding? Is that a center closed? Or I'm sorry to hear that so many members of your community have had that experience. It's not right. You shouldn't have. You should be able to. We should all be able to get preventive health care, right? We should all be able to go to the doctor, so that we won't get very sick or in some of these conditions that you were saying. So I don't know specifically what has changed to change the situation in that way, but we definitely want to work with you and with members of the community to make sure that we are working as hard as possible to get people help.
Benny said, from my experience, if I took a few people to welfare, even though I know Freddie here and he worked at the welfare. Used to, okay.
Because her family has 15 people who has cancer.
And you know, the siblings can get denied. It happens a lot. It happens a lot.
They don't have, maybe because of the language, okay, forget it. Just, okay, whatever, the result, that's the result. We sometimes we don't put our mind as a
congregation, or if there's something like that, we're happy to come out to the community and provide services. If there's a specific concern about something to do with immigration and you don't want to bring it into the office, we respect that, we understand that. Katie will be on my staff. It will be, so we want to respect people's fears because these are real fears. People have, right, this is a really it's a scary time. And so we respect that, and we're happy to be advocates if a child is rejected for CHIP, or if someone is rejected for Medicaid or welfare. That's something where our office can be the one to intervene, as opposed to if the parent or a family member doesn't want to, it can be brought to us and we can be the one to make the call. We can be the one to sort of keep bugging them and saying, no, this child should not be denied, right? We can be the one to be advocating on the behalf of people. So that's something that's really, it's something that we can do as an office, and it's more powerful if it comes from an office, right? We want to fight for people. That's why we're in this. That's why I ran for office in the beginning.
What zip codes again?
19148, right?
So, and 7. 19147 also. So east of Broad and south of Borton. Everything. Doesn't include.
And Ibu Donna is coming. Yes.
Hi, Elizabeth. Fiedler. Nice.
At what Lauren mentioned earlier, because we have a discussion earlier that like that's more to kind of like a federal, national level, but within the state Pennsylvania itself, Governor Tom Walz is actually just form advisory commission for LGBTQAI. Really recent, I believe like a month or 2 months ago, right? So I just want everyone to know that, because there is significant and really exists community within the Indonesian community and also within the immigrant community, right?
To being friendly toward the queer community, and he was like flaunting himself.
Control over, right, that are outside of our hands, but there are a lot of decisions that will be made on the state basis in Harrisburg. And I will absolutely fight for every single person to have complete human rights. We are human beings. You're a complete human being. We should all be recognized as such in education and healthcare and employment in every part of our lives. And it's scary. It's scary to see how much he is undoing, how quickly. So I don't have any easy answers, but those are absolutely things that I plan to fight for on a state basis, and also will advocate for as strongly as I can. Protects people from being discriminated against, so being fired or being denied housing, being evicted because they are a member of the LGBTQAI community. But in the rest of Pennsylvania, those protections don't exist. In most of Pennsylvania, you could be fired and your employer could say, you're gay, that's why I fired you. And that would be not against the law, which is outrageous. It's really outrageous.
So we have that within City Philadelphia or Philadelphia County?
City of Philadelphia, we have it.
Oh, okay.
And nothing on a statewide basis. So there are lots of parts of the state where there is no protection. A lot of parts. So as Katie said, that's something that we plan to definitely work on. It's generally called non-discrimination legislation that would include that community, include those protections specifically for the LGBTQ.
This will come up again. First off is this, the term that's often used, especially in the African American community, intersectionality. I mean, you got, basically like Lauren, it's not just an issue of ethnicity, but it's also gender expression.
I have been here for 30 years. I moved here when I was 10 as a child. My father came here to go get his PhD at Penn State, and we decided to stay. So we overstayed our visa because my sister was born here. It's a long story. She was born here, so we were hoping for her to sponsor.
How they want to keep it for themselves or only for like a, a small group, so they can vote in both countries, which is not allowed in Indonesia.
Organizations, similar to the one you work for, other development programs, job creation programs that would make sure that the jobs go to the people who need them most. So to women, to people who are poor, working poor, unemployed, people who really need these jobs and who need a $15 minimum wage. There's so many people who are working for really working long hours and working really hard and not getting paid enough to be able to support themselves, right, or pay their bills. So $15 minimum wage is something that's really important to me. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Katie? I can't remember what the specific thing was. This is something that the mayor has said that he is going to fight and he doesn't want here. That said, I'm not actually sure, and I don't think that the city is sure either. Like, what power we have to say to the feds that we don't want that here. There's going to be some sort of standoff between the mayor of Philadelphia and the federal government. I think it seems like the path that they're heading.
Mr. Churupek, Mrs. Donatucci, and a lot of people in Harrisburg. And at the time, I do not quite remember what year, but we had like 20 signatures. All,
Para pemirsa ya, di mana saja berada, saya saat ini sedang ada acara pertemuan ya khusus gitu, bersama Ibu Elizabeth. Beliau adalah state representatif. Semoga bisa banyak membantu Komunitas Indonesia. Mudah-mudahan meeting ini bisa bermanfaat dan banyak positifnya.
Again, Elizabeth, thank you so much. Good start.
Oh, they're out and vote because many of them don't.
So Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming this evening. I just want to know what do you think about the meeting, and do you have any message for the Indonesian in South Philly?
Thank you so much for having me. I was really happy to be here, and my message is that I want everyone to feel welcome in Philly and in South Philly, and that is regardless of how long you've been here, regardless of documentation status. I think that is one real strength about Philly and our city is how many great people are here who come from all different parts of the world, and my message would be I will fight for you. I will fight for you in Harrisburg. I want to be your advocate, and go out and vote on November 6th. Voting is power, and you have that power.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you walking?
No,
you're going, right? Okay.
Assistant Elizabeth, right?
Yeah, I'm the campaign manager
now. The campaign manager, manager campaign then.
One of the best parts about South Philly is that it has so many different communities who live here and have made it their home and who are very vital parts of our community, but thus far haven't been made welcome and haven't been represented. And so I'm really excited to be learning more about the organizations and the leaders that are already doing the work that this community needs to have the economic justice that it deserves and the immigration justice that it deserves, and that we're allowed to partnership with you guys now to really bring that even further into the way that South Philly is represented, because unless it's a part of the story, then we're not really actually representing South Philly. So I'm really glad that we got a chance to hear from so many different people here tonight, and make sure that those stories and those perspectives are at the heart of what we're doing in the office. Yeah.
Thank you so much for Kathy for coming, and then I have Elizabeth there.
And definitely, this only works if people continue to tell us what they need and what we can do to serve them best. So it's going to be an ongoing partnership, definitely.
Loh, saya sekarang bersama Pastor Aldo. Gimana kesan-kesannya Pak Aldo nih?
Pertemuan ini, menurut saya ini pertemuan yang sangat bukan hanya informatif, tapi luar biasa. Kenapa? Luar biasanya karena Elizabeth yang datang ke kita.
Amin.
Kita bukan ke dia,
betul,
tapi dia ke kita. I think itu satu gesture, satu sikap yang berbeda, di mana dia bukan nunggu bola, tapi dia jemput bola. Dan bagi saya ini sesuatu yang luar biasa, and saya berdoa untuk kemenangan beliau.
Betul, dan ini akan sangat membantu komunitas kita ya. Komunitas Philadelphia makin solid dan banyak terbantu oleh Elizabeth.
Yes.
Ya, salam merdeka.
Salam merdeka.
Saya sekarang ketemu dengan ibu siapa, Mbak?
Ana.
Mbak Ana. Nah, Mbak Ana, gimana setelah mengikuti pertemuan ini pertemuan apa khusus ya, termasuk ya, dari karena Elizabeth datang ke sini ya, tidak town hall ya, tapi meeting bersama tim gitu ya, mudah-mudahan. Gimana kesan-kesannya?
Kesan-kesan saya senang sekali bahwa calon state representative bisa bertemu dengan para ya sebagian dari wakil dari Indonesia. Jarang sekali ada mereka yang mau bertemu dengan kita langsung, menanyakan langsung apa permasalahan yang terjadi di dalam komunitas kita. Jadi saya senang sekali. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, mantap.
Mantap.
Pak Rudi, setelah kita ngikutin acara ini, apa kesan-kesannya Pak Rudi? Untuk Pak Rudi gimana nih?
Iya, saya sangat menghargai upaya dari Elizabeth Fiedler yang akan running lagi menjadi House Representative State of Pennsylvania. Mudah-mudahan beliau akan terpilih lagi. Dia kelihatan sangat atentif ya, mau menjaring permasalahan-permasalahan yang ada di grassroots, terutama yang di Philadelphia ini, dan pengen mengerti aspirasi apa saja yang sekarang ini sedang terjadi, atau ide-ide untuk perbaikan kota dan State of Pennsylvania. Yang saya berharap semua yang kita bicarakan malam ini bisa ditransformasikan oleh beliau menjadi program-program, terutama oleh Partai Demokrat dan dibawa ke Harrisburg dan bisa goal, sehingga akan bermanfaat bagi para imigran seperti kita.
Ya. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Merdeka.
Ini saya bersama Pak Lindy dengan Ibu Donna ya. Berapa tahun Pak di Indonesia? Sudah hampir 25 tahun Pak ya?
Indonesia 18 tahun.
18. Jadi Pak Lindy dengan Bu Donna ini sudah 18 tahun menetap di Indonesia. Makanya bahasa Indonesia itu fasih, orang Amerika tapi fasih. Pak Lindy, pertemuan ini gimana kesan-kesannya Pak Lindy?
Oh, kesannya itu sangat bagus ya. Memang saya sangat terharu. Ada beberapa cerita yang sudah dibagikan oleh orang-orang sini. Saya rasa memang makin banyak orang yang tahu keadaan untuk imigran di sini, makin mereka bisa ngerti dan bisa memanusiakan lagi orang yang di sini sebagai orang yang layak dipedulikan dan itu segalanya. Sangat-sangat bagus.
Terima kasih Pak Lindy, dan ini Bu Donna ini hebat dalam bidang batik. Nah, ini terkenal dengan batiknya nih. Orang bule tapi jago batik. Nah, ini gimana Bu Donna kesannya nih Bu Donna?
Gimana ya? Saya senang sekali melihat orang Indonesia yang ingin ikut campur dalam hal politik kayak gini. Saya rasa karena memang dulu di Indonesia ada banyak yang takut atau banyak yang takut bicara tentang hal itu. Memang itu sudah lama yang lalu, tapi sekarang saya senang melihat orang di sini ingin berkumpul, kerjasama, dan kelihatan sangat semangat.
Ya, terima kasih. Merdeka.
Ya.
Merdeka.
Maturin banget.
Sami-sami.
Gimana Pak Romo Kurniawan setelah kita mengikuti acara ini, pertemuan dengan Pak Ibu Elizabeth ya?
Bu Elizabeth.
Elizabeth ya?
Ya.
Kesannya gimana?
Iya, setelah pertemuan ini saya semakin bisa mendengarkan apa menjadi keluhan, penderitaan, kesulitan dari orang-orang Indonesia, dan kita bersama-sama hendak membangun komunikasi, jaringan untuk bisa saling membantu, saling menguatkan saudara-saudari kita. Itu bagi saya yang sangat berkesan, pentingnya pertemuan seperti ini.
Terima kasih.
Ya,
terima kasih.
Baik.
Sukses Pak.
Kasih.
Okay, thank you.